in spirit, nutrition, your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment. Social media, control or be controlled. Let's get it popping. Social media, everyone's on it. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn. That's more professional. But the question is, are we being controlled by Instagram, Facebook, social media, Snapchat? Or are we controlling the applications, the mechanisms, the websites? Social media and the relationship you have with it determines whether or not you're being controlled by it or it's controlling you. It could be a symbiotic relationship wherein you put in a certain amount of input and you get something out of it in return, or it could be a one-way deal where social media is draining you of all of your life force, innervating you of all of your energies, and it's benefiting. But social media is not just a big entity that's artificial, that's made up of artificial intelligence. It's actually backed by investors, people that own it, like Zuckerberg. He's the primary holder of a lot of social media. So they make money off of you using social media. But it's not about them versus you. It's just about you right now. What we think, we become. As a woman thinks in her heart, so is she. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So is he. What we become and who we are is greatly influenced by who and what we know. So, on your Facebook feed, on your Instagram feed, on your Snapchat feed, what is coming up on the feed? Is it a bunch of negativity? Is it a bunch of positivity? Is it neutrality? Is it objective neutrality? Is unbiased? Just what is it? Do you feel good? Do you feel bad when you get off social media? Do you feel inadequate? Do you feel inferior? How to control social media. Let's jump into it. Number one, uninvite the ugly. Uninvite the ugly. What does that mean? You do not have to follow anybody, any page that has negativity, whether it's in the form of posts or in the form of news media. You can unfollow them, uninvite them into your space. Remember, as a woman thinketh, so is she. So all the thoughts that you're having is based upon things that you put and feed into your mind. On social media, if you're consistently seeing negativity, you're feeding your mind negativity. So you can unfollow the news websites that are negative. You can uninvite that friend from high school that's super negative. You don't have to follow them or even be their friends. It's just social media. People may be offended, but you could be friends with them in real life, or you could just not talk to them in real life or social media. Unfriend they, but uninvite the ugly, uninvite the negative. The next thing is, number two, is to emulate instead of envying. Do not envy, emulate, baby. If you see someone who's achieving massive success, you see someone with a nice fit body, you see someone who's healthy, you see someone who's successful in terms of finances, who's going to law school, who's graduated from law school, passed the bar, who's starting a network marketing business. Anything that you want to do is becoming a socialite, becoming a producer, succeeding in news media, succeeding in whatever field you have interest in, emulate them. Emulation is defined as looking at someone as the epitome of something, the example of success, and copying their methods, mimicking their path to success. So instead of envying somebody, saying, "Oh man, they traveling all over the world," hit them up, ask them how they did it, ask them what did they do to see if you could emulate what they're doing. That way, you'll show them the respect and saying, yo, real recognize real. You getting it popping. You're demonstrating. You're living the life of your dreams. I want to know, how can I do the same thing? When I travel, there's some people who say, oh, man, I envy you. And then there's some people who hit the inbox like, yo, how did you do that? Hey, how much did it cost? Hey, what's the science behind it? How can I get on? How can I share in that same experience? A sub part in number 2 is that don't compare yourself to others. You are unique. Realize that you're exclusive. The only reason you feel inferior, or anyone will feel inferior, or even when I feel inferior, is because you're doing a false comparison with another individual or a group of individuals. How can you compare yourself to someone else when your path, your purpose is totally different from that person? You have unique history, unique background, unique things to offer. So does that person you're comparing yourself to. You cannot compare yourself, otherwise you'll feel inferior. If you realize that, hey, I should be inferior to no one because no one is me and I am no one, then I am no one else, then you could be happy in being yourself. Emulate, do not envy. The next thing is check periodically. Turn off the notifications on your phone, on your phone, iPad, whatever you're using, to where you get notified every time somebody likes something, every time somebody comments something. You don't have to be plugged in every time somebody likes or comments something. You can check periodically. You can control when you check it. When you check periodically, you have a specific time and day when you check it, and for a specific duration, then you're in control of the social media. But when it cling, ding, bing, shing, and you jump up and move by reflex like a Pavlov dog, the Pavlov dog was a dog that every time the bell rang, it was time to eat. And so over time, they would just ring the bell and wouldn't provide food, and the dog would just salivate because he was trained to respond to the bell. It's the same way with you by checking the checking social media. You get ding, oh, I got a notification. You see the red notification, the hearts on Instagram. You're being controlled. You allow yourself to control social media. Don't let social media control you. Choose the positive. Follow only the positive. On my Instagram, I only follow a certain amount of people. I only follow like 25, 30 people. They all post positive stuff, or they're my ride or dies from like when I was born out here in LA. So I follow them. And even then, they post stuff that's inspirational. So when your emotions are being controlled by social media, you're being controlled by social media. When you feel inferior because of social media, you're being controlled by social media. You want to make sure and direct social media and your interaction with it. So check periodically, okay? The last thing is take a hiatus. You don't have to be extreme and quitting social media. I'm done with it, because then you're not getting to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is you're not in control. You're not being positive, baby. You're not designing your experience, designing your life. Design your life so that it's positive on social media. Design your life so that you emulate instead of envy. That you never compare yourself to make yourself feel bad. Compare yourself to others' successes, right? Design your life. Take a hiatus. Take a break. Right now, I'm taking a Facebook break. I haven't been on Facebook for like maybe 2 or 3 months. People can find me on Instagram. Mark.JonesII is my Instagram tag. So if you want to find me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. But I control Instagram. I log in at a certain time. I log out. Take a hiatus. All right. And see how your life shifts, how your life changes, how you have more quiet, more peace, and then go back to it and see the difference between if you're being controlled or if social media is controlling you. And you'll see that you'll be yearning to get on social media. You'll be feeling for it, wanting it. But you are the main controller, the main judge, the main person with the final say in your life. So you control social media. Don't let it control you. Stay positive. Bless up. It's hot out here in LA. I'm gonna go to the beach this weekend. Had to hit pool or something. It's blazing. It's early in the morning. Peace and blessings.